Are you familiar with David Hogg?
Yes.
Okay, so he came out yesterday on his Twitter and he said that people here are trying to use their Second Amendment to stifle the First Amendment of people who are advocating for gun control. What do you think about these comments? Is that a true statement?
I don't think we're not advocating against the First Amendment at all. I mean, we're here advocating for the Second Amendment, which protects the First Amendment, whether he realizes that or not. We all have different opinions. That's what makes us America. Ask David Hogg if he knows how many medical errors there are last year that killed people. See if he knows that. It's more than 200,000. Why isn't he advocating against more control of physicians? I mean, come on. 200,000 versus 40,000, and 65% of that is suicide. So it's not about gun control, it's about control.
I can just say if he's against the Second Amendment, he's against his freedom of speech. He's against all the other amendments that allow him to have the freedoms that he has, and he's against every person that serves in the military that protects him and his precious rights. Gun control starts with the parent teaching their kids on how to use the weapon properly, or going into the military and learning how to use the weapon properly, getting training. It's not to be feared. A weapon doesn't shoot itself. It's a person that shoots a weapon.
I would just say that whenever somebody has a sign that says this is a gun-free zone, it's an invitation to allow people to take advantage of the sheep of the world. They can't protect themselves, so they know that's the place to go to take their message to that group of people that cannot defend themselves. So a gun-free zone does not mean anything. I feel more safer in this area right now than I feel when I'm in a gun-free zone, knowing that nobody in that area can protect me from someone who wants to hurt me or my family.
Every state that has strict gun laws has the highest violence with guns. Like the shooting that happened in the church in Texas where the guy had a gun. One guy got shot, guy pulled out a gun, it was over. Places where they don't have guns, guys reload. Lots of people die. If you have a gun, you can counter the gun. If you make guns illegal, only criminals will have guns.
The AR-15 is always talked about when it comes to mass shootings, but it seems fairly safe here today. Why is it that people shouldn't be afraid of the AR-15, and what is some of the misinformation that you would like to debunk right now?
Again, it's an inert object. The intent of the person is the problem. If a person's evil, it's going to be evil. It doesn't matter the weapon. The car in Charlottesville, it was, I think, a Cougar or Charger, Dodge Charger. Right, Dodge Charger. We're going to ban those? I mean, that's ridiculous. It's the intent of the person.
I am carrying an AR-15, obviously. Do you know what AR stands for? I hope you do. You are with them?
Armington rifle, right?
Armorlight.
Armalite. My apologies.
It's a sports one. My hunting rifle and my home defense weapon. I live out in a bunch of land. I have a bunch of bear, a bunch of bobcat, wildcats like mountain lions and whatnot. And this has been my absolute baby. It's a wonderful rifle. I don't know how anybody can get it wrong that it's military style grade when it's semi-auto. You can do more damage with an automatic rifle than this thing. And the rounds, I've been letting people know that obviously you're wrong about the rounds too, because a couple of news reporters were trying to say that the AR-15 round was extremely deadly, and I compared a 308 to a 5.56, and I let them, get a real-world comparison. Kind of changed some minds.
So, Governor Ralph Northam is trying to ban assault-style rifles, correct?
Yes, he is.
And so that's what this would be considered by his definition?
In his eyes it is, but technically it's not. It's just a semi-automatic rifle. It's no different than your everyday 30-30 hunting rifle that I have in my closet. The thing is the 30-30 hunting rifle will do more damage than this thing. 30-30 hunting rifle round is a lot larger.
Let's go back to Northam. He said there's 1,000 lives per year in the state of Virginia that are lost according to guns. Now, if you really want to look at the facts on that, 2/3 of those are done by suicide. That is not a crime as far as a person portraying it on another person. That's a person doing it to themselves. That's a mental issue that needs to be addressed. That has nothing to do with violent gun people. Because we're not violent. People that own guns, we're not violent. At least the majority of us are. The rest of those, would just leave you 1/3, are handgun related, and if you look at the breakdown of that, they're going to be more. Half of that is going to be with police officers that did the shooting, and the other part of that is going to be with regular civilians doing the shooting. Some of the shooting is justified killings, and others are not. So when you break down the numbers, it gets very small as the amount of people that are actually involved in a crime for the numbers of killings.
A gentleman just walked up to me in his picture line. He says, "I have an AR-15 and I will turn this in if it means saving the lives of our kids." People want to do the right thing. Republicans, Democrats, gun owners, non-gun owners alike. I think we're naive to think that we can just maintain the status quo.
Beto knows what he's doing. He's sitting there telling you that, oh, a man just walked up to me, it's a total lie, and said, oh, I'm going to turn in my AR-15 so people don't get hurt. That's selling the idea that if you own a gun, you're responsible for what criminals do with a gun. That is such a fraud. It's so anti-American. Now, you can always tell when Beto's lying, his lips are moving or his brain's thinking. The man's a total fraud. His father-in-law is worth $28 billion, a big anti-American globalist, gave $1 billion to Beto's wife. The guy wrote papers fantasizing about killing children, running them over with cars. He got arrested for a hit and run. He got arrested for burglary. The man isn't allowed to own a gun. He is a deranged criminal. But of course, deranged criminals want your guns. They're now turning their guns in or facing 5 years in jail in New Zealand, even though the man that shot those people wasn't from New Zealand and got the guns illegally. The globalists want to have a revolution against America, and they want us disarmed before they do it. 1776 could commence again at any time because they're losing their information war against us because we're telling the truth. And so now Beto is making his move with others, and he has to be rebuked. He has to be exposed. And the way to do it is not be intimidated about your Second Amendment and let them know that you're fully aware of what they're trying to do. Beto's campaign says, if you want to prove you're not a bad person, turn your guns in. Hey, Beto, you turn your guns in. It's a campaign slogan where he says, turn them in to show you're good.
Lay down your arms, you damn rebels.
Hands up, come out, and we'll take you away to the gulag. They're literally trying to disarm us. They openly say they want to put conservatives in forced labor camps. They openly say they want to kill us. They openly say they want to destroy us because we support Trump or America. We've got to stand up and say no. And you've got to fund those that are fighting because we're pro-Second Amendment, we're under massive attack. Hack attack, lawsuits, you name it. But you can help us stand against this and spread the word on the street against these bullies with a great shirt like Beto Not, available at InfoWarsStore.com. But whether it's supplements or a Betsy Ross flag or a water filter or a book or a film, these are products that are great that you need, and shopping with us helps us continue to fight for all of our basic freedoms. InfoWarsStore.com. Thank you for your support.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47.